All right, so for doing your high pressure hose repair, the key components you're going to need are these. They're called reusable couplers or reusable hose ends. There's a couple different terms, but they are reusable hose fittings. The term reusable being very subjective because, on most hydraulic assemblies that are in tractors or in automotive equipment or even stationary equipment, those hoses are protected. So these actually are, in the sense, reusable. In the pressure washing world, we're constantly dragging our hoses. So depending on how bad you beat up your hoses, your fittings, if you've noticed, if you take a look at your other hoses that you use every day, the fittings become quite mangled on them. So term reusable, very subjective. You make your own decision. I would highly advise not reusing these if you're constantly dragging them across the ground. Chances are they're going to be worn down to the point where it's hard to get a wrench properly on these anyways. But, each of you are going to have to make your own decision if you decide to do this. The process is very simple. These are some of the tools that you're going to need. For these, you need 11/16 deep socket, adjustable wrench of your choice. I cut these 2 pieces of wood. These are going to help me secure my hose in a vise rather than just clamping the hose in the vise. Take a little bit of time, about 3 minutes, and actually make you something that's going to properly support that hose. Some electrical tape to wrap the hose with prior to cutting, and that's to prevent fraying of your steel braids. The lighter may or may not be used. What you can do with that is just kind of melt back the plastic. If you have frayed plastic after you cut it, you can kind of seal that end up of your rubber protective coatings on your hoses. The key component, some of you may have these, some of you may not, a cutting wheel. You can use a hacksaw to cut this hose. However, it's going to be a little bit tedious and you're going to have to be very delicate because if you start to fray those steel braids, you're going to have to start all over. Just move an inch or 2 back and then cut again. All right, so here's the hose. There's the hole. So what you're looking at is conventional blue. It comes in gray, black. It comes in all different colors. But what you're looking at is typical single wire, what's commonly referred to as one wire or single wire hose. If you have two wire hose, what you would see is your inner rubber layer, wire braid, another rubber layer, and then another wire braid. So you would have two layers of wire. That's why they're called two wire.